Hey there, vinyl community and other viewers around the world. This is Mazzy here, and this is a State of the Union, just updated State of the Union of my record collection and record buys and VCLT and a little bit of organizing. Just some new things. I don't do a lot of these sort of overview potpourris, but there's been sort of several vinyl community VCLTs, vinyl community love trains, where people send sort of records just out of love and admiration, and because they want to share, they want to share music and things. I got three things. One I mentioned before, but I'm going to talk about that in the background. This is a great collection, and some people are always looking for great music to listen to. These cocktail collections that came out in the 90s, 1997, Capitol Records. This is called the Cocktail Combos. 3 discs. One is the Nat King Cole Trio. Then the Johnny Moore's 3 Blazers, and this is Charles Brown in the background. Those of you that collect Christmas records might know Charles Brown's very wonderful rendition, Merry Christmas, Baby. Great bluesy, kind of bluesy, jazzy, and of course anything with a martini glass. I probably showed this in a comp, but great work. And these collections, along with Bachelor Pad collections of the 90s that Capitol and other labels pulled out, just are some amongst my favorite. I think I showcased these before. So kind of good, sexy, moody music to play in the background. So I was talking to the archivist about some of these VCs I got recently, and she says to tell them, come on, cut the crap. What does that mean, cut the crap? Not cut the crap to send the stuff. Now, it's not a mean-spirited thing. It's basically cop to it. Cop to sending me stuff. 2 of the VCLTs I got here, there was no name, no return address, just a vague location. So I mentioned this one before, but I didn't show it because I didn't have them with me at the time. But one of the VCLTs I got was stripper music. David Rose, or more, music of stripper. So I haven't opened this yet. It's sealed on MGM Records. It's a slice cutout. So it doesn't actually have the stripper. This must be the sequel. You remember the stripper. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Boom, 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 ba-da. You don't want Mazzy to sing, but this is music for the stripper and other fun songs for the family. St. Louis Blues, Lullaby of Birdman. A pretty girl is like a melody. It's true. They say that. It's true. Some of these days, Walk on the Wild Side. I wonder if I don't think that's the Lou Reed song. Anyway, I'll check this out because I love this it'll go into my loungy Bachelor Pad bin, which I'm going to mention here and showcase a little bit, or at least just show you the outer thing of it. But anyway, I got this along with this. A record without a jacket. Now, I don't know if this was just put in just for fun, and I did look at it closely because it is Led Zeppelin 2. It's great, but of course, when you get a copy of Led Zeppelin 2, what do? The first thing you do is you look for the RL and the dead wax. Well, you know what? This is not an RL. So why did you send me this? I'm kidding. I'm not greedy. Anyway, this is not an RL. As I said before, I had all the original Led Zeppelin albums, so I probably had an RL, but they got sold in the purge of '94 when I was going for the better CD collection. So somebody sent me these. Claim your booty, baby. Claim your booty, VCLT. Don't know who sent this. Now, the other day, when I got back from San Francisco, I got another VCLT from Orange, Massachusetts. I tried to think, who do I know in Orange, Massachusetts? But they sent me bootlegs. A video bootleg DVD, gray market, black market of the Ultimate Collection of the band, I haven't watched it because it's out of focus and I can't read it because it's like Xerox DVD bootleg. This is stuff you see sold on the streets of New York City. But I love the band and I'm looking forward to this. I wonder if there's Last Waltz on here, which I already have. Oh, Dave Letterman Show, Italian TV. This is kind of an overview. Can't see it all right now, but thank you. But who are you? Claim your booty, baby. Claim your booty. I think I need to hashtag claim your booty, baby. And a DVD of Dylan the Band, Isle of the Wight. I do have the real versions of a lot of this. The band in Pittsburgh from Dutch TV, the IOW Festival newsreel. So Dylan the Band, thank you, but claim your booty, baby. Claim your booty, baby. Claim it. Now, I just got this yesterday. I did score it because I don't like people taking 3 hours to undo a box. This was a surprise out of the blue, and this is from Comic Rima, and Comic Rima's channel, if you don't know him, one of the sweetest, endearing, genuine vinyl community contributors. Really great spiritual heart. Love watching his stuff. Not only is into cool music and comments a lot on my and other threads, he also collects comics, which I don't do, although I have a few here and there of specific things like some Beatles stuff and everything. So I was really surprised when this arrived. I just got it yesterday. Last night it arrived. So, he's in I think I knew he was in Los Angeles. I need to make it down to LA a lot. I usually go 3-4 times a year and I haven't gone in a while. There's a few people I need to meet up down there. Maybe Sherv. I need to meet up. Well, I need to go to the Valley. But anyway, do I have to show you? Look at this. Isn't like a magic trick where you need to see what I'm pulling here. Ooh. Wow. Jars of Clay, Sixpence None, City on a Hill includes the #1 song, God of Wonders. I don't know this. City on the Hill. Sounds religious. That's okay. I'm a big fan of gospel music and religious music. I'm just not religious myself, but I like the spiritual side of music. I'm looking up here, you don't see it, I've showed it before. Testify, which is a 3 CD box set Rhino put out. Uh-oh, I have nudity there. I should probably cover that up. I don't do this position on purpose, but that book, that great book by Helmut Newton, ain't going anywhere. So if you can't handle a few bare breasts, come on, you Americans, don't be so freaked out about that stuff. Anyway, that Testify Rhino box set of gospel music is one of my favorite sets, and I love that kind of stuff. I don't know if this is gospel. Oh, let me see. There might be a note. I should look for a note first, shouldn't? Oh, there is a note. That's cool. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones. Beatles versus the Rolling Stones. If you haven't watched my video, some people take it so personally. It's just fun. Jesus Christ, I love the Stones. I love the Beatles. Even though the Beatles are better. But and the Rolling Stones only became the greatest rock and roll band by default. Yellow Submarine. I'm going to stop here for a second, read this, and I'll be right back. Really sweet note, thanking me in the VC. I've learned a lot from you through your videos. I've included some records I hope you don't have. Feel free to pass them on if you don't like them. I apologize for the late package. Why is it late? I didn't know it was coming. Did I know it was coming? Did you reach out? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Please know we love you. Hope you've been well and in peace with yourself and others. May God bless you always. Anyway, love from Comic Rima, Los Angeles. Thank you. That's really sweet. Anyway, I don't have that first one. Stockholm Syndrome, Derek Webb. Never heard this. I've seen of this. I don't know it. So I do not have this. 2009, I think. You know me. I love CDs, but I'm a vinyl most of the time, but now I'm playing CDs in my office here. But this is really cool. DC Universe, Rebirth. Looks like Wonder Woman, Frankenstein, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Legoland, Lego Man, Beetle Boy, and Beetle Boy, and Cooter Man. That sounds dirty, but I meant Ride Cooter. I was trying to be funny, but it didn't quite work. This is cool. DC Universe. I know nothing about this stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, I think I read Archie comics, and I was never a superhero comic reader, although I love watching all the Marvel and DC stuff and all the battle of the films. But this is cool. This is the kind of stuff that makes you not want to open it or seal like that. Oh, I already showed you that. Anyway, Jars of Clay, Sixpence, and City on a Hill. Don't know it. Wow. McCoy Tyner Counterpoints. And you guys know I love jazz. I do not have this record. 2004 Concord Music. McCoy Tyner, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. I mean, you know I love I love all those guys. You know I love Tony Williams, having my photographer worked on his later Blue Note records. So I'd never heard this record for the first time ever on vinyl. 2004 Concord Music, live in Tokyo. It was recorded in 1978. Orrin Keeknews is the executive producer, original session produced by Ed Michel. Looking forward to this. I love McCoy. I did see McCoy twice at the Keystone Corner in San Francisco, a great jazz club in the 70s. The Search Party, wow, Montgomery Chapel. You know, I've seen people show this, West Coast religious scene. You know, I do, San Francisco 68, oh, this is totally cool. I'm not gonna read it all right now. Don't know this, I have seen this. I like weird, offbeat, everything from poetic to spiritual to wild, avant-garde stuff. I don't know if this fits in that category, The Search Party, 5 young aware people trying to produce relevant religious music. Again, not being a religious person, I'm pretty much agnostic. If you know what agnostic means, is I'm not totally an atheist, but I'm not a believer. Agnostic means hasn't been proven to me yet, so I need to be proven. But I believe there's spiritual stuff out there. I just don't like when people, there's a certain group of religious people in the world and in this country that really try to push their beliefs and on social things on others. And I probably shouldn't say that here, but that's my belief. But I love when people like you, Comic Rima, and I know your real name here now. I don't know if I knew it before. I love when people express that and showcase that, and you do it in the perfect way from my point of view. I know that sounds, I don't mean to sound condescending, because it's not at all what I mean, but I just, you know, this country's split up enough, and so, you know, everybody's God is better than everyone else's God in the world. How can that be? Anyway, looking forward to this a lot. I'm probably more excited about this than anything here. Not that I don't like the other things. Actually, I know what to expect here because I've seen McCoy and I haven't heard this particular thing, but this really interests me. Wow. Anyway, Watson Street, San Francisco. Interesting. Never heard of Watson Street, and I grew up in San Francisco. But cool record. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A couple new things I've gotten. I got Music Matters Jazz is putting 2 releases out every month on the SRX vinyl. Music Matters are not cheap and not for the faint of heart, but if you can't find an originals on these things go for hundreds of dollars, unless you get lucky. The SRXs are about $75 a pop, plus shipping, unless you buy $200, I think, worth, and you get free shipping. Music Matters Jazz, those of you who follow jazz, I have a bunch of about 50 Music Matters Jazz, and they're stunning. They're doing the 33s this year, and they're doing things they put out, and I'm only picking and choosing. every 2 months or every month, they're putting out 2. I'm not getting every one, just the ones I don't have in any other format. I don't rebuy records unless I have a bad copy. But I haven't had a good copy of Monin, and this came out now. I think it's already sold out. So, you know, the next 2 records are going to be announced. The February haven't even been announced yet, so it's going to be another week or so. But if you're interested in investing in this kind of jazz and not cheap, again, not for the faint of heart, and you have to really like the music and really want to invest in this. 2 a month, at least for the first half of this year. I think through the whole year. SRX is a vinyl configuration that's supposed to be quieter and everything, but these sound amazing. They have the gatefolds, you know, very much like the Tone Poets. Tone Poets are obviously a better value in a way, because they're like, what, $27 to $32, where these are twice that, pretty much. But if it's a record I want, you know, I'm not going to spend a few $100s on original. I don't need an original, because I just want a wonderful sounding record. So Monin, Lee Morgan, Art Blakey, Bobby Timmons, Benny Golson, and Jaime Merritt. So Music Matters Jazz. I wasn't gonna get this. This is my favorite band album, the second self-titled band album. I do have an RL of this that's a little crunchy but good. But my buddy Coffee Dave bought this, and he has a Lynn LP12 turntable. And if you know that turntable, it's a mother friggin' thing to change it to 45. You have to change the belt and the whole thing, and not impossible, but it's not easy. He didn't realize this is 2 LPs, 45 RPM. So he kind of did a trade. I got probably the better of the deal. There's a couple of albums I had that I traded him for, and this is a double record. Sounds really good. I didn't like the remastered music from Big Pink that came out last year on the 50th, or was it the year before, 68, I guess, to 2018. But this came out this past year, and it really sounds good, and it's 45 RPM, which is really surprising at Capitol Records. They're not obviously a audiophile label, but they put together one that's 245s. But it sounds really good, so this was something I just got. I showed this briefly, but I've been playing it, and I love it. Baraka P. Dub, Paul showcased this. I don't know if it was his best to 2020, one of his recent videos. I know he hasn't been making a lot of videos lately, but when he does, I watch him. One of my favorite presenters. But Afro, Futurist, Electro Funk in Space, 1976 to 84. Love this record. It's really fun, funky, fun, and I know. So thanks, Paul, if you're watching this. I finally got it. Again, I might have mentioned this on another video, but it's just a good comp, a fun comp. Soul Jazz Records. And there's one more coming in, insert that I'm going to insert in here. Then I'm going to end it with organization. Now, I did a video a while back, and in my video there was a close-up of the speaker, and somebody commented on it, rightly so, that I'm using like this lamp cord as speaker wire, which is kind of thin and not very great for these vintage JBL L100 speakers. When I moved here 6 years ago from San Francisco, this is my downstairs room. I found these vintage JBLs and literally just put them together quickly with this wire I had from when I moved, the speaker wire. Always wanting to replace it because I'm not into high-end crazy cabling, but this was something I always meant to update, but I just never did. As you can see, it's like lamp cord. Well, I finally picked up some SoundPath cables, untool speaker cables. I think these are they 14 or 16 gauge cables with the proper plugs. You can get these with banana plugs, or you can get these with different end bits. These are the banana plugs, not the Y or whatever you call it, the U-shaped things. So I got a 10 and a 15 footer, and I'm going to update these on my downstairs rig down here. So that's just a little taste that sometimes you see something and and somebody kicks you in the ass and realizes something you forgot to do. Better cabling, especially if you have long runs, you should get a higher gauge. And just to let you know, the gauges go the opposite of what you think. So a heavier gauge, well, anyway, am I doing this wrong? 12 gauge? It's a heavier gauge, and you should check it out if you're doing long runs on your speaker. Same thing as you shouldn't use speaker cable too long from your run. If you're only like 5 feet away from your receiver or your amplifier, don't put a 20-foot cable on it. You may not know the difference, but you know, that's a whole other thing, and I'm not a big audiophile like that. But even something simple as I plugged my receiver into the wall directly rather into a power strip. I know power strips are great for surge protectors, but having your receiver in a different plug and circuit than you have your turntable in a perfect world is ideal, because you get hum and it's a whole other story and everything. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in here before we get into this organizational part of the video. So this is sort of a potpourri video. I'm inserting this in because I don't know where else to put this part of the video. We're playing the Folk Swingers Raga Rock. I want to talk about High Fidelity, the TV show on Hulu, Zoe Kravitz, mainly because I ended up watching the complete series over 2 or 3 nights with a friend, actually with the archivist, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, I don't usually do reviews of things like this, but there's some anticipation about this show. Obviously, it's based on the Nick Hornby book. That the original book was based in London. The movie with John Cusack, that is a cult favorite, was based in Chicago, and this version is based in Brooklyn and stars Zoe Kravitz, daughter of Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. And it's from a woman's point of view, woman-owned record shop. And I hate to say it, I really enjoyed it. That's not what I hate to say. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I hate to say I was sort of debating some people in on the Hoffman forums, which is always dangerous. There's a bunch of misogynist wankers on there, and maybe out there some of you may agree. It's on Hulu, this show, 10 episodes. It's based obviously on the movie and the book, and a lot of the first couple episodes and subsequent episodes take exact things from the story, because I think, which is a good idea, you shouldn't have to know the original to watch this one. Well, a lot of guys just seem to be threatened. I know they get defensive and they say that's not why they might not like it or not, but I even had read one guy on the forum say, you know, oh, I watched 20 minutes and turned it off, or I watched a half hour and turned it off, and this was only about relationships, not about music. Well, if you know the original book, and if you know the friggin' John Cusack movie, it's totally about relationships. It's about John Cusack's relationship, his top 5, I think it was, or top 10, but top 5 he talks about. Now, granted, they use the ambiance of a record store, the record business, records and top 5 and top 10 lists to tell the story about his relationships, his failed relationships with these women. And that's much like this. In a way, the new version of High Fidelity is sort of like a combination of High Fidelity and Sex and the City. Not that it's sort of catty or trippy, but I think it's really, really good, and they bring on the different characters. Now, it's easy to start comparing to John Cusack or the African-American woman who works in the store that is probably a singer, we find out, to Jack Black, and she doesn't have, you know, the Jack Black aura. But I think it's important not to specifically, I know we get in this trap, to compare it. I think in episode 5, there's a great bit episode based on the famous outtake that if you own the DVD, or if you've seen on YouTube the outtake where Cusack goes to buy this record collection from a woman who just got divorced. There's a whole episode based on that, and it goes further. And Parker Posey plays the rich woman who is getting divorced and selling this record collection. I don't want to do any spoilers, but it's just really enjoyable. But it is about relationships. Zoe Kravitz is amazing. If you've seen her in Big Little Lies, I think she's very charismatic. Looks just like her mother at that age. And it's a good array of music they do throw in. It's not just new hipster music. There's Arrow Through Me by Paul McCartney, which is really, to me, an out there song to pull for the episode. And it's good about relationships too. So anyway, I'm just putting this in here because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Maybe it's not for everybody, but this bullshit about guys jumping on it and complaining that, oh my God, there's a turntable on top of a receiver. Well, you shouldn't really put your turntable on top of a receiver, but I know a lot of people work in record stores that are not audiophiles. Probably people out there, they don't have a lot of space. They put their turntable on top of the receiver. When I worked in a record store in the 70s, we had a tight space behind the counter. The turntable was on top of the receiver. So, people get too wonky into the finite details, but I think it's really enjoyable. And they have 10 episodes to really flesh out the supplemental characters just beyond the main character, Rob. And Rob, I think, is short for Roberta, I believe. Same as Rob was used in the Cusack version. Anyway, that's my little take on High Fidelity. It's on Hulu. I know a lot of people don't get Hulu, but thoroughly enjoyable show. I think it's well written. It's shot beautifully, and I think it has room to grow into something even better. So that's my little take on High Fidelity. And, haters gonna hate, baby. Take care. On to the next part. Record dividers. Copal design. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while or follow me on Instagram, Mazzy's Music is my music Instagram. You can search me and follow me on Instagram, Mazzy's Music. And I follow record dividers on Instagram, record dividers. And Copal Design, Kate Copal, is in San Francisco. I first got a couple years ago their woodblock now playing sign, now spinning sign. You've seen it. I'll show you a couple cutaways here when I get into this a little more. And people always ask me about that. I also show it in Instagram quite a bit, more so than on the videos here, and I love it. Now, I've seen people talk about now playing stands and dividers you can get cheap and everything. And the only thing I'm going to say about that is the stuff that Kate and her all-woman crew make in San Francisco are high quality, handmade. And she's been doing it for a number of years. She's an amazing designer, and it's an amazing product. And it's not a cheap product by any stretch. You're not going to get, a whole series of things for $50 or $20 even. And for the whole thing of letters and alpha stuff, depending on the styles, if you want them all separate or a few letters combined or custom or certain genre titles, they can be anywhere from $25 to $35 a piece. They have sets where you can get somewhat discounts and packages on different sets. They can be several $100s. And up to $300 or $400 in some cases. Now, they're not for everybody. I do not use the alpha listing just because of the nature of my collection. You've seen my big wall, and they're so tight, I don't want to take any space up with alpha, and I don't need them for that. But I have bought several of the genre things, and I just got a new package that just arrived yesterday, and I'm going to open up here in front of you and showcase them. Then I'll show you how they use. But I highly recommend Copal Design and her products. Comes with a nice card. Thank you. Thank you for your order. Thank you, Norman, Kate. Again, they're in San Francisco. They're boxes, they're tape. It's about organization and records. It's an investment in your collection. And I know, people talk about storage unit and tables for their stereo, and some we all pick and choose what we want to invest in. Do we want to get better cables? Do we want to get, stands for our speakers or for our turntables or gear? And it depends on your financial, how much you want to put in your record collection. Same with that Music Matters Jazz, paying $75 for a record. I don't do that all the time, but I do it for certain titles I want. And I get, how it's wonderful finding a $5 or $10 or $15 dig, and that's all, and I love that. And I don't find a lot of, maybe because I'm in the really big record city, and good luck finding rare Blue Note jazz and Verve records here at a reasonable price. But this is something, again, it just arrived. We make record hoarding look damn good. Durable, useful, and damn stylish. And I have it for 3 sections, which I'm going to show you. I have Cocktail Party. And you can use it either way, so whatever suits you. It's on both sides. They're a beautiful birch. It seems like a birch plywood, maybe. Birch veneer plywood. Really well done. In rotation, they do have some genres, and some you can get blues and soul and jazz. They're fun things. Cocktail Party is one that I really wanted for my bachelor pad collection upstairs. These are for my upstairs flip bins only. I did not get them for my main collection here. That's all I want and all I need for mine. In rotation. And lastly, on my flip bins, which you'll see in a few minutes, new releases. I have 2 flip bins, and you'll see how these work. So I want to give a shout out to Couple Design out of San Francisco. Follow her on Instagram, follow them on Instagram. Check out their website, just look through it. It might not be you for right, maybe you put it on your birthday or Christmas list and someone will send it to you. Or if you're getting married, register for dividers from Couple Music. And I am not I did not get these free, and I am not a shill for these. I just love their product and I support their product. Although she is gonna put an interview profile of my collection on their website in the next few weeks, I think, because she loves showcasing how people in their homes use it. But it's nothing to do with me promoting them as a paid advertiser type of thing. So I'm just a fan of things that I like, of high quality handmade items. If you have skill saws or jigs, and I don't even know what you call this shit. I'm not a builder. Only Jew I know that can do any kind of woodwork. I think it was Jesus. I think he was a carpenter, wasn't he? But I love these products, and I totally, for your bar mitzvah, tell your parents you want them. Anyway, we'll be back after a couple more things here.